How was the park today, if you were in?
I was there yesterday. And wouldn't you know how last admission is at 3? Well, 2:59, somebody rolled in.
Oh, God. We'll just be really quick.
Yeah.
To what, the exit?
And here they come to shop. So, thanks for that.
I would expect nothing less at this point.
Oh, God, yes. We've gotten... Oh, yeah, I remember getting people like that at Lowe's. They try to be buzzer beaters.
We got them in the reptile building just about every freaking day.
Okay.
Get out!
I think maybe you could just tell them, okay, but just to let you know, at 3 o'clock, we actually let all the reptiles out. And that's all. It's also their feeding time, so good luck. What?
Yeah, we're going to let the big reticulated python out. He's a pain in the dick, so run.
Oh, God. You know what? I'm kind of glad we decided to get rid of all the formalities with this podcast. It's kind of fun just to talk.
Well, that's why we're looking at doing that new show, John.
Yes. I think maybe we'll just incorporate that into the podcast, actually. That'll be part of the Nerd-Vana series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, topics like, I don't know, maybe favorite music from a movie or
video games based on movies, that stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. The ones we were talking.
We don't think about, and we just do it on the go.
Yes, or even just stuff that we've experienced before we decided to become nerds, or at least publicly nerds.
Oh yes,
like stuff at our job.
So my whole freaking life.
Okay. Our old day jobs, we've all dealt with Karens. I actually remembered one Kevin who decided to hold me hostage one time. But that's a story for another time. Anyway, welcome everyone to the Nerd-Vana podcast. I am John Murphy. Digital content producer by day and amateur filmmaker by night.
I'm Ian Benoit, reptile caretaker for most of the year, filmmaker in the off season. I have no idea why John's doing an intro now, because we've all been on the show before.
Yes. It's for the ones that decide that the newcomers. It's for the newcomers.
Watch our other videos.
Okay.
Old companion Tyler here, who just puts the line of being normal and just having fun by joining these guys on the world of madness of topics.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea why you subject yourself to us, dude.
Because how else am I going to pass the time?
I don't.
Improving your relationship with your wife.
So that's already maxed out.
To you, Matt.
Matt Brewster here, the world's greatest high school art teacher by day, and frazzled dad of 4 kids by night.
of actual kids or fur babies.
Oh, real kids and fur babies and scale babies and feather babies, and any number of things. You name it, we've got it. Brewster's home for wayward animals here.
Okay. All right. So
John, what if they can't tell by the background,
yeah,
or the title, what are we reviewing today?
You don't forget our shirts.
Yeah, well, 3F4. I don't know, Matt. Did you get the shirt?
Yeah, I know where my shirt is. I can go put it on.
No, you got the goddamn Jeep and the Explorer. You don't need a freaking shirt. I'm just waiting for you to pull up to one of these freaking podcasts, doing a review in the goddamn Jeep.
Yeah, I should do that.
Oh, it's too late now. I mean, it's the cold season now. Winter is coming.
Forget, John. Dominion. That comes out in the summer.
Yeah, I said he can't do the review now because it's winter.
Well, he could.
Winter's coming. Winter is coming. And anyway, yes. So happy Turkey Day, everyone. Happy Black Friday. Happy Small Business Saturday. Happy whenever this thing comes out. Happy near the end of Thanksgiving to all.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to our resident paleontologist Ian Benoit.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. 23.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, that was a good year for us, wasn't it, Tyler?
Yeah, it was.
All right. So anyway,
Lost World.
Yes, we're talking about the Lost World Jurassic Park, the only sequel that Steven Spielberg has directed to date.
Only sequel?
The only sequel he's gotten, he directed.
Mm-hmm.
For the series.
No, I'm pretty sure in his entire
career.
Oh no! Wait. Did he? Wait. I'm gonna have to check with Indiana Jones.
No, I'm pretty sure he did all the Indiana Jones films.
Okay.
And the Googling commences.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
But no, outside of Indiana Jones, yeah, this is the only one he ever does a sequel for.
Yeah. Yeah, I never. Yeah, it just suddenly hit me. I can't believe I forgot about Indiana Jones. And all right. Anyway, this came out in 1997. Only two of the original cast members returned: Jeff Goldblum and Sir Richard Attenborough.
Actually, wasn't it 3, but 1 had a cameo?
4. 2 had a cameo.
Yeah.
The kids, yeah.
That's a real quick cameo.
A very quick cameo. I think as soon as focus was off of them, they were just standing in the background, going like, "Did you need us?"
For a while.
Yes.
Every time I stare at them and wait to see, when did they disappear? Oh, that's right. This person comes up, puts their coats on them, and walks them out of the movie, and that's it. Never seen or heard from again. So
yeah, even through all the sequels, we never hear anything about them.
Mm-hmm. Jeez.
Although I can't say anything about the comics. I'm pretty sure they show up in the comics.
There were comics? I'm sure
there were comics about Jurassic Park.
Dude, the comics are a mixed bag of fun. Did you know about the comic where Muldoon wasn't killed, but the rappers were just playing with him?
I remembered you saying something about that, Tyler. Oh, by the way, everyone, this is Drago, a gift from Ian, if you remember from my unboxing video. I'm honestly still surprised by the amount of detail in these things. I mean, look at the detail in the mouth.
What have I done?
It's just so amazing. All right. So anyway, gentlemen, what do we all think of The Lost World?
I love it.
You know, what's the best way to say it? It's like a train wreck, but it's still spectacular to watch.
Yeah.
I kind of have to agree. The first Jurassic Park, it had that magic Spielberg touch. The sequel, I think it was just we were trying to keep that riding high going. Dinosaurs and all of that, roaring and stomping around.
Well, the problem with that is you set the bar. How do you surpass that bar?
There's a lot of trying too hard in The Lost World. A lot of trying too hard.
Oh, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things I loved about The Lost World.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so many things I liked about The Lost World, but its message got mixed pretty badly.
Yeah, but I think given the sequels, not only number 3, but also with Jurassic World, as well as Fallen Kingdom, I think the message may have gotten muddled, but at least it was. I don't know. At least it wasn't poorly executed.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was a fun, entertaining ride. Like I said, for Fallen Kingdom, that just felt like B movie. They repeat the Lost World, the logic of the Lost World in Fallen Kingdom. Get the dinosaurs to the mainland. The only difference is they succeed.
Yep.
Actually, John, the only reason the T-Rex showed up in the Lost World was because Spielberg wanted to.
Yeah, he did.
He initially did not. The plan was to end with a Pteranodon attack. But then Spielberg says he's probably not going to direct another sequel. So he says, you know what? Let's have some fun. And they took the T-Rex to San Diego.
Yeah, I think I read that.
I was kind of confused about that boat sequence. Like, how did all the crew die?
That was the
T-Rex.
only.
I know how this happened.
This was the only thing that was actually mind-boggling. I mean, how did they all die? But the T-Rex was still in the cargo hold, though. So what? It just killed everyone and decided to lock itself.
Yeah. No. While the T-Rex is rampaging around, it injured one guy. Some guy is apparently follows somebody into the cargo hold, and the guy, as he's dying, manages to mostly close the doors
Before his arm falls off.
No, if we just see the arm, I presume he's still there.
Yeah, there's that one guy who still has the hand hanging on the steering wheel.
I know how that happened too.
How do you? Oh, please! How is that explained?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all,
we don't see that portion of the wheelhouse in the film. The storyboards, however, which just became public at an auction by Phil Tippett himself, I believe, if I'm not incorrect about that, he auctioned off certain storyboards, and it shows a hole in that area of the wheelhouse where the T-Rex's head would have busted through. Due to how the film is shot, we don't see that specific part.
But the problem is you can't really confirm that, because unless the camera showed it, it wouldn't confirm it. It's kind of like saying, no, people said this happened, but until you actually saw the proof that it happened, it's just conjecture.
It's that is one of the greatest noodle incidents in cinema history.
It is.
And that's just what the storyboard showed.
But no, like,
whether they designed that portion of the boat that way for the scene, we don't know.
Yeah. All right.
Although all that confusion about the carnage on the ship has led to wild theories about raptors jumping on board and killing everybody, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah.
Let's see. I think
what happened?
What?
You know what happened in the book, Ian?
Raptor.
Yeah,
it
was a race against time. They spotted the raptors on the boat, and they were trying to get to a radio so that they could radio the boat before it reached the mainland. The whole thing was
in the first book, the kids see young raptors playing on the ship as the ship was leaving. Then it's raced against time to stop the boat from reaching the mainland.
That was the first one.
That's the first book.
I get the two books.
Been so long since I read the first book. I just remember reading about how Hammond dies, and because that kind of conjures up how Dieter, the number two guy, dies in that movie.
Good.
Okay, so the novel Jurassic Park was sprinkled against the whole entire 5 set trilogies, mostly the big 3, 1 through 3.
Yeah, let's see. There was the Pteranodon attack, the Compy attack. At least Jurassic World decided to get in that old idea about riding a baby Triceratops.
And
there's also the motorcycle chase from the Lost World novel, that got sort of retooled for Jurassic World.
Oh, with the whole raptor, raptor thing.
There was a raptor chase in the second book.
Not quite the same, but
not quite the same. They retooled it.
Yeah. Which, the funny thing is, if you read the book, you had a rough idea how Jurassic Park would handle. It was a fairly decent adaptation of the book. It didn't quite play as well. But if you read the book for The Lost World, it was not.
No.
Same.
It was a Spielberg and David Koepp, and I think Kathleen Kennedy as well. Yes, John. Yes. They started planning the sequel before Crichton finished the second book. They had certain ideas that they wanted to incorporate, and they also took some scenes from Crichton's novel. For better or for worse, in my opinion, I think it's better because it allowed them more flexibility to follow their own story. And again, this caused some problems with critics. It doesn't everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. On the wiki, let's see. The beginning scene with the family on the beach. And the wee girl. Oh yeah, I kind of remember that was in the beginning of the first book when I read that. Mm-hmm. Only I think didn't the little girl describe the compy as having that little tiger stripe design that the velociraptors in this movie had?
Yeah, green, but with stripes, I believe.
Okay.
Green with stripes. Hold on. Let me Oh man, you see better days.
Oh my god.
Oh geez, you want me just to go get mine?
Yes. This poor thing has seen better days.
Yeah, no, the compies were described as essentially little green lizards that walked on their hind legs in the books.
Yeah. So okay, so it's called. So in the book, they're called Procompsognathus, or I don't know how you pronounce it.
Procompsognathus terrescus. Yeah.
Yes. Compies for short.
Are they are they really called that? Or are they?
Yeah, that's an actual animal. Oh, yep, Procompsognathus terrescus.
It's just one. I mean, I had a brief obsession about being a paleontologist, but with ADHD, that was kind of it was bound to end one way or another. There's a lot of CG, a lot more CGI in this movie than there was in the original Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some of it, and I think back in the days of videotape, it was actually pretty good. Actually, some of it even now, some of it still holds up, but unfortunately, you can kind of sort of notice it as movies get more and more upscaled and sharpened.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. There are quite a few shots where you can clearly see that it's CG, and it's not. It's good. While you're watching it, it's good. But if it's just a still image, it's like, oh gosh, that T-Rex leg looks so freaking fake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Although, for the time, I think most of the VFX shots are actually pretty good, especially the one guy that essentially became a gum wrapper at the bottom of the T-Rex's heel.
Oh, Carter.
Yeah. I thought that was Carter. Oh god. Poor dude.
That was Carter.
Poor dude not only got trampled by his men, but got trampled by the Rex.
Well, what do you expect when, you're in Mama Rex's territory?
I don't know if that was Mama or Papa Rex.
That was Mom, because Papa got tranked by Roland.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, Roland. That's one of the better characters in this movie.
One of the better characters in the entire series.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I honestly wouldn't mind a story about him.
I would. I would too. I kind of would have liked if they actually. I'm pretty sure his scene was cut out probably for pacing or time management. But I would have just loved. I would love if they had kept his introduction scene in.
Yes.
I do think initially it was cut for timing, but in some TV versions of The Lost World, those deleted scenes are still in the movie.
Yes, I remember I remember one time when it was first advertised that Lost World would be playing with scenes never before seen in theaters, and so I watched it, and then imagine my disappointment when I find out only 2 scenes were cut. It's like I was kind of hoping there would be more, but yes,
a cut dinosaur scene.
A cut dinosaur scene, like maybe more T-Rex action, something. But no, only 2, and they're near the beginning.
Hey Matt.
Boy.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what are one of the biggest things that you liked about The Lost World?
Well, I like Roland. Obviously, he's awesome. I like the fact that there's a lot of dinosaurs. I like the chase scenes. You know, when they're chasing the dinosaurs, I think that's really cool. The things I don't like, and there's a few of them. Overall, I know it's a Spielberg film, but it doesn't feel like a Spielberg film. If you told me, that it, watching it, I would think somebody else had directed it, because there's just so many cliches that he included that seem amateurish to me. Like,
Yes.
I could talk all day about the gymnastics scene, which is just
Oh God! Do we have to bring that up? We know everybody's thoughts on it.
Yes.
that's just pure goofiness out of God knows where.
That is the worst. I don't care, John. I don't give a crap what you say about Fallen Kingdom. That right there is the worst scene in the entire series.
I'm big enough to admit,
eating raptor on a plane.
Yes.
That's not bad, because that's like 2 seconds.
That's a dream.
Yeah.
At least,
But
that's a dream. That's not a dream. A character did not just literally psych a raptor out by going, "Hey, you!" It turns its head and
Opens
actually
its mouth.
drops its jaw in awe, and is so mesmerized by this human just flipping and spinning, and then
Nobody the hell.
Go through a whole barge routine while they're in danger. Okay, let me stretch, let me warm up, and now I'm going to do my routine with all these spins and twists that aren't at all while my life is in danger.
I know some people complained a little bit about the crossbow scene in Battle at Big Rock. Some people complained a little bit, but everybody that I've heard says the gymnastic scene outranks that by a country mile. It is so bad.
I'm pretty sure Steven had just cut it down so she wasn't twirling. She just got up and swung and just kicked the raptor. It would have been fine.
It would have been
absolutely.
Yeah, it was too much.
Those bars just happened to be exactly where she needed them to be for her routine. Because when they do, when these gymnasts do the uneven bars, they have settings that they have to have these bars at, designed for their height, for their routine. Because I taught gymnastics for years, so I know all about that stuff. So I know the bars. So these rafters, these pipes just happen to be exactly where she needed them to be to do that routine. It's just, I can't suspend my disbelief that much. I'm sorry, but I just can't.
Matt, are you a jack of all trades or something when it comes to teaching?
Yes, I am.
No, Matt, if she would have just grabbed on the bar and swung and just kicked it without doing a warm-up,
that would have been fine. That would have been okay. Because people do that. It's like, grab this thing real quick and swing over and kick them. Sure. That I could believe. But the let me all this and this move and this other thing, and then bullshit.
I'm sorry, I'm still thinking of the Raptor's face after the "Hey you." It's like,
I'll just stand here and be patient while you do your whole routine, then come and kick.
Yeah, yes, Ian.
Now, guys, you know what my favorite things about this movie is? Showing an ecology, not the ecology.
Ecology, you're correct. Ecology.
Yeah, of how the dinosaurs work. We got to see velociraptors falling down the roof, landing on another of its partners, and they're bickering like a married couple.
Yes.
I think that's a callback to the second book, because in there's an entire philosophy about how the raptors weren't behaving like real raptors.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have any parental guidance.
Yeah.
And they were basically a mob.
That's what the book, oh Lord, the book has such differences that, like, you would have to make a whole video just to do differences on book and movie.
I don't have to do that video. Many people have already done it. I don't need to.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure someone has already done it.
They have.
But also, Tyler, you've kind of frozen on my end.
Yeah, you're frozen, dude.
Hold on.
There he is.
Yes, there we go.
But I guess your words inspire me to be like, in shock, John, to let that raptor know.
Also, why call its attention when its attention was not even on you? It was perfect. It was already perfect. You didn't need to.
But,
this was the This was the 90s, I guess.
But I just loved how we got to see this island where all these dinosaurs are cooperating, intermingling. You get to see them in not just packs, but you got to see a Brachiosaurus. And during a bike chase, if you want to call it a chase,
just ride right through a Mamentosaurus's legs.
That was a I thought it was a Diplodocus.
No,
or Diplodocus, or however you pronounce it.
It's mostly pronounced Diplodocus. That was a Mamentosaurus.
I'm calling it a Diplodocus now.
Diplodocus.
Diplodocus.
Is it just so you can say Bigothicus?
Oh gosh,
Bigothicus.
But no, and it did show a side of that the other movies won't touch on, about how just the human presence changed a lot of an animal's how they function.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
You get to see the terror of these poor dinosaurs by InGen trying to capture them. Though it was pretty cheesy on how it's kind of forcing that message down our throat.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, considering there's a substantial financial investment in these animals, why are you being so rough with them?
Because we created them. They have no rights. You see, yes, not only am I a bad guy, I'm a bad British guy, so you can hate me even more.
Now, one of the things that did disappoint me that they cut out, but hey, came back in Fallen Kingdom for what, a second?
What was that?
The Carnotaur.
Carnotaurus.
Yes. You know what? I even remember that was the one thing that stuck out from the book, how the Carnotaurus could actually blend in with its environment, and again, it came back in later movies in the form of the Indominus Rex in Jurassic World.
And I wish there would have been a better way to incorporate that aspect rather than just having the Jurassic World. Not knocking on Jurassic World, but I would like to see how terrifying it would be at night trying to find a dinosaur that you couldn't see. Because the Dinosaur Rex would just run around using camouflage. This thing, these two didn't run. They sit and wait.
Mm-hmm.
Ambushers. And
although that's not how Carnotaurus work, I'm sorry.
And And we all know that not the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park don't look like real dinosaurs. Yes.
No, they're not real dinosaurs.
Well, back then, this is what we thought dinosaurs looked like. We thought we knew they were related to birds, but they looked like lizards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, John, what would you have thought if they included a subplot of a dinosaur's disease?
I know where you're going with this.
Dinosaur's disease. That actually does sound familiar.
You know, not the lysine, no defects.
Oh,
not that one.
You're talking about the poisonous plants?
No.
Ooh.
Okay, well then.
DX.
It's called DX. In the book, the dinosaurs were dying in masses, which is why it supported a high number of carnivorous types. You know, it was extremely unbalanced because so many were dying to provide for a larger population of carnivores.
Let's see. In the book, there was a pair of Carnotaurus, at least a family of Tyrannosaurs, an overbloated population of Velociraptors.
26.
Yep. And a whole bunch of compies.
A whole bunch of compies.
I think that's it. There might be a couple others.
And the book is so much different from the movie. Like, you would think the movie's about not interfering with nature. You know what the book theme is all about? Sometimes Extinction.
Yeah, I think that was. I remember there was always talks about extinction. In fact, let's see. I like how, one thing that actually freaked me out when I read the book was saying how dinosaurs lived for a certain number of years, and humans, or the primate families lived for just, almost the exact same time. This is not as much, but close to it. So I was like, oh shit, does that mean we're near an extinction level event? I mean, that freaked me out when I was when I read that in middle school.
It's the Lost World novel, though it has great particular scenes, and a whole bunch of discussion on evolution, behavioral evolution, and extinction, the overall plot is very weak.
It is.
I think that's part of why they changed it so much for this movie. Granted, people were unhappy with that for some reason.
But honestly, I could care less about Levine as a character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy to kick them out.
But why did they have to get rid of Dodson? Didn't Dodson come back in the novel?
Well, he did come back in the second movie. However, I don't know if this occurred around this time, but let me find it. Jurassic Park.
No one really cares about Dodson when you think about it.
He was the biggest bad in both the book and the movie.
John, Tyler, you're overthinking it, dude. Dodson, we've got Dodson here.
Yeah,
nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
They even did that.
Can't believe I've had to explain that.
They even did that in the Jurassic Park video game, the Telltale game.
Yeah. But it's kind of weird that you mentioned it. That why not bring Dodson back for the Lost World? He was the big bad in the novel.
And the whole reason why the events in the first movie happened anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this might be why Dodson didn't return. He was played by Cameron Thor, and he is a convicted sex offender.
Oh.
I think that might be why he didn't return. I don't know when.
You know what? That's
in 2016, he was sentenced to 6 years in prison for sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl.
Oh, good.
Was he also on that list in 97?
I don't think so. I think that's because Dodson didn't really have much of a presence in the first movie. They just didn't bring him back. Although, in this case, I'm okay with that.
Okay. It's funny that you bring up he's a convicted sex offender because I finally listened to one particular line in there that was supposed to get a chuckle out of me, but now it kind of makes me go, no, it doesn't. Can't really laugh about that now. Anyway, it was after the Stegosaurus interaction or fiasco, I guess. Let's call that. When Ian is Ian's kind of talking, lecturing Sarah, and he goes, "Oh, shut," and Sarah's going, "Oh, shut up. I've dealt with predators all my life since I was 20. Lions, tigers, hyenas, you." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. He was a teacher, and then she was a grad student." It's like,
awkward.
oh God.
Although not in the same field,
but they were
obviously.
But it was still a student and teacher.
Mm-hmm. And it happens a lot.
Yeah,
it does.
Oh yeah, that one didn't age quite so well.
Now, I do have to say, whether or not the book or the film changed for the better or for worse, one could argue if they read the book, yes or no. But I have to say, one of the things I did find enjoyable was the dinosaurs we never got to see in the first movie.
Oh,
especially the ones that remind us of Land Before Time.
Yes.
Do you guys know why they included some of those dinosaurs?
Because they appeared in the book. Lots of kids sent letters saying that we wanted to see them.
It's actually mostly for the kids. There was one particular letter that says they don't, as long as there's a T-Rex and Velociraptors, it's all good. But he really wants to see a Stegosaurus.
Mm-hmm.
And the writers in Spielberg saw that, and they did that mainly for the kids.
Yeah.
And we saw some, and one of my favorite when I was 7, when this movie came out, one of my favorite pastimes was actually just looking at those dinosaurs and I didn't call them by their scientific names. I called them by the characters from Land Before Time. Is that a Stegosaurus? No, that's Spike. Is that a Parasaurolophus? No, that's Ducky.
That's Ducky.
I know, that's what...
Littlefoot.
Well, we technically saw Littlefoot in the first movie.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Okay, fine. It was a Brontosaurus, not a Brachiosaurus.
You mean a Apatosaurus?
Apatosaurus, Brontosaurus, isn't that the same thing?
Not anymore, no. Brontosaurus has now been resurrected. It is now its own separate thing, separate from Apatosaurus.
Are you freaking kidding me? No,
I'm not kidding. I think it was in 2016 when they brought it back. They reclassified it as its own valid genus.
Yep. But honestly,
You're welcome, John.
I have to say, you have no idea, the things that this movie did, it only just drove up my interest in paleontology as a kid.
Well, that's every movie.
But here's the thing. Did you guys know, I'm going to tell you a little story here. I thought there was the Lost World TV series based off of this movie.
Are you talking about the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle story, though? You must have mistaken it for that.
Yeah. It didn't help that it had a character that looked like Richard Attenborough.
It's something. Yeah, I know. Even though this movie is part of a recognizable franchise, it unfortunately does bear an already existing name that can kind of be disappointing. It kind of be disappointing when you realize, hey, this is not what I was thinking.
Yeah, I was like, where are the dinosaurs? There's Amazonian women and all these other things on this island.
If you saw that at 13, you would go, actually, no, wait. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
Right, John, keep in mind, Tyler's the guy that saw the that scene
in Terminator.
Yes. Terminator.
Yes, the hugging scene.
The hugging scene.
The ferocious hugging.
Passionate hugging.
Passionate hugging is what my dad would call it. And let's not even go into Total Recall on that one.
Wasn't really much of a passionate hugging scene in that one.
No, but there's a woman with a very special thing.
Oh, that's right, that one.
Yeah, I asked my dad, why don't any other girls I know have that? He's like, she's very special. She's a one of a kind.
That's for sure. For a woman.
He had a way with words.
I say he did.
Tyler, you broke John.
Oh god, I'm very fragile, Ian. I'm fragile.
Yeah.
But John, I think I know something that you really enjoy about this movie. The references to prior media. Aside from Lost World.
Who are you talking to?
John, you.
Oh. Okay, what references?
Gorgo, King Kong, Godzilla.
Yes. I'm glad that you brought that. You know what's? Yeah, I like that. There's a bus that crashes through a blockbuster, and let's see, there's
blockbuster.
What?
Oh my god! Why you must do this to me?
Why do you do this every time, Ian? Whenever we bring up a movie rental store, you were
no.
Young
I know what Blockbuster is.
Yeah. Okay.
It was around in my childhood. I'm not that young.
Okay, good. But let's see. There's Arnold Schwarzenegger and William Shakespeare's King Lear.
Yeah, those are references from Animaniacs.
Yeah. Let's see. There's Robin Williams in Jack and the Beanstalk. Obviously a reference to, and it uses the same typeface as the movie Jack that he was in. You know, the 10-year-old that looks like a 40-year-old man. Let's see. And yes, monster rampaging around the city. That's any monster movie.
I think specifically, actually, yeah, Beast from 20. What is it? 50,000 Fathoms.
50,000 Fathoms. It's actually pretty good. And of course, you got. I'm glad you brought up the Japanese because I had an interesting thought after watching this. Just tonight, actually. All right, so we get a shot of some Japanese businessmen that are running from the T-Rex, and it says that they're shouting in Japanese, "We left Tokyo to get away from this." All right, it's obviously referencing Godzilla. Here's the fun part. This movie came out in 1997. By the time this movie came out, the second Godzilla's second movie series had ended already. So, would that kind of mean that Jurassic Park would be in the same world as Godzilla? That'd actually be fun. I mean, it is a big world.
I want to say no.
I'm saying yes.
Of course you are, John. I
Because
think that was a reference to the books and maybe the movies about the Japanese investors.
there were Japanese investors in
the book, yes.
Yep.
Because the Japanese apparently had more patience for the long amount of time that it would take to set up the park than the Americans did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
willing
willing to wait for profit.
Whereas the Americans wouldn't. So I think that's what they might have been referencing. aside from Godzilla, of course.
Problem. Well, I mean, when it says that they're shouting in Japanese, we left Tokyo to get away from this. I'm saying that because of that. I'm saying Jurassic Park and the Godzilla series, they are now intertwined. That's it. The ancient.
Which Godzilla series?
The one. Let's see. The 54 movie and the second series, which is a sequel. So it's the 80s and 90s series.
But I got a fun story for you guys. So you remember I told you, John, that my parents were worried about me because I was never freaked out by the dinosaurs eating the people.
Oh my God! Are you gonna be? But I'll bet I can guess what you were freaked out by.
Yeah.
The dog.
The dog.
Nobody likes that.
That got me to cry. And you're like, the dog is what makes him cry, but all these people not.
Right.
You know what?
100%, as long as the dog lives.
Rule of filmmaking.
Yes. Never kill the dog.
Yeah. And also, let's kind of be fair. We kind of knew that some of these people would die. That's why we didn't really care about their names. We just looked at them as course 1, course 2.
Yeah.
And appetizer.
Yes. I don't think I ever told you about this, but this is the time when I got really savvy, and my dad really had to learn to carefully choose his words. Because I would ask him, why do these type of people, I point at the Mexican and the African American, die in these horror movies?
Oh.
Like, when people are to die, why are these two the front lines? He's like, I don't know why, son. They're just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, in the course of the movie, yes.
You are a little bastard.
Yes, I was. But I was a very curious bastard.
That's the best kind to be.
Yes.
I don't know, Matt, how would you handle it if your kids asked you after seeing a movie? How would you answer?
My kids, I don't know how to put this delicately, are far more advanced than I was at their age. Some of the shit they're already watching is just beyond stuff that I would want to see. I mean, for example, here's my son's mouse pad.
John, you might need to blur that out.
Well, what the hell is that? That's my mouse pad. So there you have it.
Oh my God! I was not expecting that. That was just so perfect.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right, John's officially broken.
Like I said, I'm very fragile.
And let's just say that along with this film came probably the biggest chunk of my childhood, arcade games.
The arcade games, yeah. You had the driving game, you had the shooting game. Actually,
I remember the on-rail shooting game.
Yeah, actually there was a lot of Actually, every movie from the 90s and 2000s became a shooting game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was like the easiest arcade game to make.
Probably.
Yeah, pretty much first-person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, John, I don't know if you remember going to Aladdin's palace and mall.
I've Aladdin's castle.
What are malls?
Shut up. Aladdin's castle, and it's now called Gibby's.
Yeah.
And oh God, it was really rare to go there. My parents were funny. I mean, they let us watch movies. They were okay with us watching movies and TV, but they were afraid of us playing video games because they said that they'll rat your brain. Newsflash, Mom, we're obsessive and we're also ADHD. We already got an addiction. plan for that. It's called TV.
Yeah.
And anyway, yeah. So yeah, I remembered seeing a Lost World game. I remembered seeing a Lost World game in the arcade.
There were lots of them.
I remember
lots of Lost World games.
Let's see. I think the one I'm thinking about. You mentioned that rail shooter. I think it's the one where there's just a bunch of those orange velociraptors just teleporting into existence.
No, not teleporting. This one's a bit more detailed. They'll come out of the foliage or in the buildings. You got to fight a Carnotaur. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Carnotaurus. Yeah, I know. And it had the camouflage
Carnotaurus.
ability.
Then you have to fight the Mosasaur.
Honestly, I was always scared to play Jurassic Park games because how you would die is that the dinosaur would especially the carnivores would come up close to the screen and you would just see a close up of its jaws and teeth.
Honestly,
in that case, don't play Alien Isolation.
Well, I'm older now. I mean, I recognize that is part of the whole package.
Honestly, playing the Jurassic Park games got me mentally prepared to play the Turok games.
Oh, that's a throwback.
Oh yeah.
Turok. I'm gonna put that on a shirt. Oh, that's a throwback. You say that a lot, Ian.
So, Matt, which death was your favorite in this movie?
What's that?
What death was your favorite?
You know what? I don't know. That's I have to give that one some thought.
Oh yeah.
Because honestly, I can tell you what's the most. That was the most gruesomest, most ouch kill in the whole franchise.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you which one. Remember when? And it's the guy I really like too. Remember the long-haired dude with the beard, kind of looked like me.
Oh, Burke. Yeah. Oh yeah, Burke.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name. When at first he's got the coral snake, and that freaks him out, and that's what makes him move closer to the waterfall. Gets the chomp, and then you see all the red water,
and then you hear the crunch.
Hear that sickening, squishy snap crunch. That's
it's like a carrot snapping in half.
That is just vile, and you can see the look on the people's faces. They're absolutely repulsed by what just happened.
I want to see what happened in the theaters.
Was he even really in any danger? I mean, I remember that old saying, red next to black, you're okay, Jack.
That was not a coral snake. That was a completely harmless king snake.
Yeah. Snake's a milk snake. I didn't get a close enough look at it.
It's completely harmless. I
guess he's got Indiana Jones syndrome.
It makes sense. He just got there's a T-Rex right there. His adrenaline. Hello, Pupper.
Hello.
There's a T-Rex right there. His adrenaline's through the freaking roof. Obviously, he would make a rash reaction like that. It makes perfect sense.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see.
Now,
okay, so that's your favorite scene, Matt. That's your favorite death.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Eddie has the most impression on the whole franchise. It's the most brutal.
And it was so unneeded too. I mean,
animals don't care.
I mean, like he was trying to help. He was trying to help. And this is the thanks
Eddie was a goddamn hero.
There is no God.
And honestly, that's the one thing about this movie that got right is brutality with animals just doesn't care, because in their world, it's live or die.
Yeah.
I remember back in 2015 when people got upset about a certain death in Jurassic World.
Yep.
They claimed it was too brutal and unneeded.
Oh,
and the children got nightmares about it.
Oh,
Oh,
the babysitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I think-
please. That's what's going to give you nightmares. Try watching Eddie.
Getting torn in half.
Oh my gosh. Although
Live
I
with
must
that.
say,
Live with that image in your life. Going to
What
the
are you saying, Matt?
going to the doctor. Okay, wiggle your toes. All the way over there.
It was-
What were you saying, Matt?
Oh, so they didn't like the babysitter getting eaten, but they were okay with Gennaro on the toilet.
apparently, yeah. Although
Yeah.
it was 2015, their kids never grew up with the original trilogy.
You know what? I just realized that in the first two movies, someone has to get torn in half by a T-Rex. Gennaro was the first one, remember? I think this one's Gennaro. Yeah, I think this one is too.
Except that was an off-screen one, which, who?
Okay, so new rule for Jurassic Park. It's not a good T-Rex death if someone doesn't get torn in half.
Yeah.
And
Well, then-
that's something Fallen Kingdom got right.
That's realistic though, because if animals don't like to share. Okay, so
No.
if an animal is eating something and there's part of it hanging out of their mouth, another one is going to try to grab it and eat it, and they're going to rip it apart. That's what they do. I see it with my own dogs.
I see it with the alligators.
Yeah, so there you
Granted,
go.
we try to avoid that.
But that's what they're going to do. They don't care where it is. They don't care if it's in another animal's mouth. They want it. So they're going
They
to
want food.
Although the Eddie death has made such an impact on the Jurassic franchise that in Jurassic World Evolution 2, there's a feeding animation with the T-Rex where if they have two of them, they will share the food. They'll rip it out of each other's mouths. I love it. It's so cute.
Yes.
That death was preceded a lot by, of course, the iconic trailer line. You remember the line, Tyler? We made a reference to it in one of our dragon vlogs. No,
It's
Boy.
been a while.
it's been a while.
Ah.
Mommy's
Ooh,
very
that one?
no. Mommy's very angry.
Mommy's very angry. That's another thing about Ian Malcolm. He has so many quotables that it's not even funny. It's like, ooh, then there's running, and then there's screaming,
Yeah.
which he's not wrong.
Yeah,
I quote him at work.
it was the whole point. Was really the script just written as like just trailer lines? Most
Or
of
is he just that quotable?
I
don't-
think
He's
they
that quotable.
say stuff. Just say whatever comes to your head. And I think he went with it.
okay, yeah.
But John, the pirates don't eat the tourists.
Okay.
Like, no matter how you dice it, Ian Malcolm's a very fun character.
He is.
Yeah, he is. Although not as fun, not as fun, or at least not as interesting as, say, Roland.
Yeah.
Roland's just a badass.
Roland's just a badass. He doesn't even need words.
Roland's not only badass, but he's also the kind of guy that at first you want to hate because he works for the bad guys, but you respect him.
He's
Mhm.
supposed to be the villain, but he's not because he respects the animals. You know,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Not only
Right.
that,
Everything he says makes sense throughout the whole, especially that whole, no, I don't want the job. I think I've seen enough death, or I've been in company of death enough. So he knows.
I especially like the fact that he caught the T-Rex, but he's not happy simply because his best friend and partner Ajay died. Which I really wish. This is why I wish they didn't cut that scene out, because I didn't even know that was another character. I thought it was the same bad guy because in the limited light, in the dark moonlight, they look so much alike.
They do. No.
And he doesn't really say much. So we can't really get a grasp on him. But when you hear how the hunter is just so sad that his friend died, you know what that gets you? Nothing but respect for that man.
Mm-hmm.
No. John, Matt, one thing that gave me Jaws vibes. Don't go into the long grass!
Oh, yeah.
Which is the lead up to one of my favorite sequences.
Oh, yeah.
Because at this point, we've seen raptors be somewhat athletic. In this movie, we go literally full sprint, jumping clear out of the grass, jumping on top of things, jumping from roof to roof. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you got to see their intelligence, too. You got to see, like, from a bird's eye view about the grass.
Oh, God.
I
love seeing... Oh, God. I actually love that aerial shot
That
of you're seeing them close in. It honestly looked like Missile Command trails. Oh, God.
I love this, how this movie handled their raptors so well. You see
Except
their
for that-
intelligence.
Except for that one scene.
We're ignoring that.
does not exist.
That is Godzilla 1998. It does not exist.
Yes. But the raptors are so memorable. Like, I can remember Jurassic Park raptors, but I can also remember the Lost World raptors.
Yeah, I can remember. I even remember Jurassic Park 3 raptors.
Yes.
Well, their design is awesome.
Say what? Yeah, their
design is awesome.
Okay, raptors. They're like the most memorable mid-level boss that you're gonna meet in all those movies.
But honestly, the way they were designed makes sense if you think about it. Because in the Jurassic Park, they're mostly muddy brown, but they weren't living in the wild.
Yeah, and these raptors in the Lost World are pulled directly from the books.
Yeah,
the books describe them as tiger stripes.
Yeah, what is the point of a tiger stripe? I guess in the form of, as zoologically speaking, what's the point of the stripes on a tiger?
To break up the silhouette.
Yes, to blend in with the tall grass.
To look badass.
So the long grass.
Well, that's a side effect. But yes.
Look cool.
Oh my God, the long grass. Oh my God.
But now,
that's why. Oh my God, that's why he said that, because if there were predators in the long grass,
you wouldn't see them.
You wouldn't see them. I mean, he may be the partner of the hunter, but he's still part hunter.